Okay, so for all the people that are still on this whole like Russia thing, aside from the fact that Russia has the like economic strength of around Italy right now, or the fact that that they're right next door to China, so with this whole World War III thing on the rise, they might be able to keep China in check, help them mind their manners, make sure they don't do anything stupid to us. But aside from all that, why haven't we heard these phone calls? This was something that was leaked to the media. Why is there no like if it's something that was leaked to the media, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. There's there's paperwork. There's paperwork that is being subpoenaed for the investigation into Obama doing the wiretap on Trump Tower. Yeah, there's documentation for that. There's evidence, but they're really kind of detracting from the General Flynn phone call, and that's the real important one, because that's the national security advisor. Now, there's like 3 or 4 people in the White House that are above him. This requires an explanation. This requires a source. Fuck this anonymous source is bullshit. And as we can see from the Vault 7 release from WikiLeaks, who's never had a falsified document. It's all been verified by this is legit. It's been verified by people at the CIA. There are mentions of program directors that that you wouldn't know unless you were within the CIA. This has been all verified. This is true. The CIA has had access. They can leave the digital footprint of a foreign entity. In other words, they can hack in to something and make it look like it was the Russians. Which, didn't they say that there was that it left the trail that as if the Russians had hacked into the DNC? Weren't they blaming the Russians for that? I'm pretty sure they were. Why would they think it was the Russians unless there was a digital footprint left from it? Seems like that could have been left by somebody. This isn't just listening to everything, and I mean everything. Anything connected to the internet is an active spying device for the CIA. This is no longer conspiracy theory. This is real deal. It's time to start acting like you give a damn. Because y'all say you care about the things in the world. You say you want to help the world. You say but then you chastise the people who try and tell you truth. Here, I have the when we're able to show you the evidence and you still reject it, that cognitive dissonance, and you can take that as an insulting word if you want. I've dealt with cognitive dissonance. It's a bitch. I was raised Mormon. Man, when I realized that what a crock of shit that was, I went through some shit just recently. I was so anti-Trump. I was social justice warrior, anti-Trump to the T. And a friend showed me that you're presenting good evidence. This fake liberal movement, the social justice counter free speech bullshit, has been hijacked by people who do not have good intentions outside of just look around the world. Look at all the other Soros projects, and you can't deny it was George Soros anymore when his son goes to UC Berkeley and has been donating tens of thousands of dollars to the anti-fascistas, Resist, and I don't remember the rest of them. My theory, I believe he did talk to the Russian. He admitted he did. He stepped down because of it, and he did it behind Mike Pence's back. insider sources, who, whatever, take them with a grain of salt, but it certainly makes sense. And insider sources say that phone call was regarding a massive pedophile list within the United States, which the KGB would have that. They would like if there was like a dirt bin on the U.S. That's it's the same reason that this whole pedophile thing is running so rampant. And y'all can deny it all you want. The evidence right in front of you. Cognitive dissonance is all good and fine until it's it's enabling those that are harming children and shit. Like, I don't give a damn if you want to believe shit about the Twin Towers, but you sure as fuck better give a damn about the people that were bombing because of it. You didn't give a shit back then, but all of a sudden you're caring now that what? They can't fly here for 90 days while we recheck the vetting process because we said time out while we figure shit out. Yeah. I'm not saying your liberalism is phony, but it certainly is predictable and well financed too, because they have found George Soros has donated over $100 million, like just various charities. I'm sorry, not charities. Charities give something to the population. You guys just bitch about it. Hold up, missed my turn. Beep. Woo. Yeah. Go check out Vault 7. Be sure to check it out through the dark web. Because if you go to WikiLeaks, through the regular rabbit hole, it's kind of scrambled. It's kind of hard to read. Actually, really hard to read. Because it's encrypted. But yeah, if you don't know how to use a Tor browser, find a nerdy friend to teach you. And hop on WikiLeaks through there. On the dark net. And it's all spelled out right there for you. Check out the Podesta files while you're at it. And then check out your cognitive dissonance. It's something that you need to keep in check. Because otherwise it ends up becoming your ego. And the world's got enough of that around. Also, if you come across any evidence that, suggests that I would be wrong or, disprove my sudden shift toward the Trump train. If you want to disprove the 18,000 undocumented people undocumented migrants who were released back into the population after being convicted of a felony, which for those of you that don't know, it usually consists of something to do with assault or something where there's a victim. So in other words, they're sneaking around. I don't care if you want to I don't like the word undocumented. I don't give a shit about documentation. But there's no reason that everybody in this country should be up to greater scrutiny than people who are just coming in. And my heart goes out to these, families that are being split up because we finally started enforcing the immigration laws in this country that people just got comfortable with, to the point where, when you're dropping your 8-10-year-old off at school and they're an American citizen, the only way for that to have happened without the parent being an American citizen as well is if they came over illegally for their kid to be born here, and that's all fine and well. Good for you. You realize that your child's going to be covered. You're looking out for your kid. But if you get deported 8-10 years later because you didn't want to go down and figure out or go through the process, I don't know, maybe some of these people were started on the process and just not far enough along, and that's how they got caught. I don't know. But the majority of the people that have been deported, I'm going to say that again, 18,000 convicted felons, traffickers, and violent people. Like, I already know you're gonna say, no, shut the fuck up. Not all of anything is anything. So shut the fuck up with your putting generalizations in my mouth. But the fact of the matter is, these parents have got to start stepping up and taking their share of the responsibility that they that they're split up from their kids now. Because they know the fucking immigration laws. They know that they would be deported and not their kid. That's why they had their kid in America to begin with. So fuck your pity party. Fuck your pity party. That's all there is to it. Like, you can either accept these facts or you can reject them. That comes down to you, not the way the world is, not what is in this world. See, that's what this whole social justice warrior movement is based upon, is emotional attachment to very complex issues while ignoring the facts. And anything that doesn't agree with your opinion is labeled racist. It's like, people always, one that I like to throw around when I was social justice warrior motherfucker, I like to throw around you're 8 times more likely to be killed by a cop than you are to be killed by, a terrorist. Oh, yeah. Liberal. Oh, they love to throw that one around because fuck cops. And I still agree, fuck cops. For the most part. But when, I forget the exact number, but like a black guy walking down the street is 10,000 times more likely to be shot by another black person than he is like a cop. And I remember a friend telling me this once, and I just, at first I said, oh, that's not true. And then I looked it up and like, yeah, that's racist that you even point that out. And in hindsight, looking back, like, that's not racist, that's statist. It's a statistic. Like, it's I'm not saying there's not racism, there's not oppression. There is. Like that shit happens. But it's never gonna change. People are assholes. So we can either not empower them by ignoring them, or we can stomp around and make a big scene, and then possibly piss some people off in the process, and then have those people not even really care about the issue, but want to be against whatever the fuck it is that you're against because you ruined their day or whatever. And that that's absolutely what happens. But either way, it doesn't change the way the world is. 1/3 of the refugees that are already in this country are currently under investigation by the FBI for, participation in a terrorist activity. I'm fairly certain that there were many of them that were under investigation even before Trump took office. There was somebody that mentioned that on a CNN interview the other day, and they cut his feet off like within like a few seconds. Like, and you're still buying this shit. I gave a ride to somebody the other day. He was from real heavy like Swiss accent. Lived in Switzerland, grew up in Sweden, worked for the pharmaceutical company. Big one, Dynatech or something like that, Dynacorp. And when he said he grew up in Sweden, I got excited. I'd ask him, and I'm gonna go through my dash cam and see if I can pull it off, because maybe when y'all hear it from the mouth of somebody that lives over there, you'll believe. But there's life is different over there now. Like, if you went to Europe, 5-10 years ago when you were a kid or whatever, right, and something whatever positive memories you had with it wouldn't be there now, or they'd be definitely a lot different. And And nobody wants to talk about that. Like, my heart goes out to these people who have lost everything because of us, because of the actions of our government. More importantly, and you got to remember, this is the way a lot of them view it too, because of our apathetic approach to the atrocities being committed by our government around the world, damaging our image and our name as Americans. To the point where when I was in Guatemala, half the time I said I was Canadian because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit. But it's not going to take somebody who is trained in one of the, countries that were on that, the no-fly list. Yeah. That's why they're on there, because there's terrorist training camps openly, just open there. And it's not going to take somebody who's trained in one of these camps. It's not going to take somebody that's going to pop up on a regular, background check. Because most of these people don't have documentation. They are whoever the fuck they say they are. A lot of them are taking Hispanic names. This is something that's been noted. Because La Raza, the same cartel that Obama openly admitted, when they called him out for it, to funding a few years back. Go ahead and look that up. They've got camps just within 10 miles of the border, middle of the desert, big old camps. Go ahead and look that up too. Like, oh shit, they said it on Infowars. It must not be true. Shut the fuck up. Get over yourself. More shit that Alex Jones has called out 10 years ago is happening today. So y'all need to humble the fuck up and sit down, shut the fuck up, and maybe listen for once. But there's been connections between ISIS, Al Qaeda, and La Raza. They all have very anti-American views, and you can't blame them. I mean, we created that mess. We fucked the Middle East. We fucked Central America. We fucked South America. And, well, maybe not us personally, but we personally enjoyed the benefits of that fucking, and left the people that lived there to deal with the consequences. So I don't know. Maybe we got it coming. We created Saudi Arabia. We put the royal family in there, and now everybody, anybody who knows anything about the world knows that Sauds are shit. They're garbage. I'm not saying if you're from Saudi Arabia you are garbage. The Saudi royal family has done is behind some of the most atrocious acts in modern history, including 9/11, which isn't conspiracy theory now because of the 28 declassified pages from the 9/11 Commission. Go ahead and look it up. But Al Qaeda, ISIS, El Raza have all been, and I'm just gonna say it, fuck it, Obama's in there too. Because if you think that motherfucker's not helping any of this, then there's no hope. But yeah, I'm getting a phone call. Rant over. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. That way you know when I have another rant, when I get off my mind. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. And challenge me. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because I would love to be back out there with a gas mask and a first aid kit. Smashing shit. I would love very few things more than that. So please, prove me wrong on what I've said here. And be sure to cite the time on which, throughout the video that I said it. Because I get lost. I get lost in myself sometimes. Who can blame me?